Hi, everybody. How are you doing? If you're new here, I highly recommend you hit that subscribe button and the bell down below to not miss a single one of our new lessons. And don't forget, if you like this lesson, please show us some support by hitting that like button. Also, take your fluency to the next level with our lessons. Lesson 23. Active and passive voice. Subjects and predicates. A sentence has two parts. For example, in the sentence, Uncle Tom worked on the railway, the first part, Uncle Tom, is the name of the person or thing we are talking about. This is the subject. The second part tells us something about the subject. It tells us what Uncle Tom does or did. This part is called the predicate. Here are some further examples. Subject. Predicate. I went to visit Uncle Tom. We walked up to the front door. Tom was smoking his pipe. Tom was thanked by Sir Joseph. A carriage was taken into Tom's garden. The tickets were collected by Tom. The predicate always contains the verb of the sentence, e.g. went, walked, was smoking, was thanked, was taken, were collected. Now you will notice that in some of those sentences, viz. 1, 2, 3, the subject does the action. In that case we say the verb is in the active voice. But in others of them, viz. 4, 5 and 6, the subject does not do the action, e.g. Tom was thanked. He didn't do the thanking, he received it. A carriage was taken. The tickets were collected. The carriage and the tickets didn't do anything. In these sentences, in which the subject is not the doer of the action but the receiver of it, the verb is in the passive voice. The passive voice is made by using some part of the verb to be in a past participle. That is the reason why the past participle is generally given to you in the principal parts of the verb. Present tense passive. If the verb is in the present tense, we use the present tense of the verb to be in the past participle of the verb, e.g. active. Passive. Tom cleans the waiting room. The waiting room is cleaned by Tom. Tom collects the tickets. The tickets are collected by Tom. Mr. Priestley teaches the students. The students are taught by Mr. Priestley. The grocer sells eggs. Eggs are sold by the grocer. An electric fire warms the room. The room is warmed by an electric fire. Past tense passive. If the verb is in the simple past tense, we use the past tense of the verb to be in the past participle of the verb, e.g. active. Passive. Tom cleaned the waiting room. The waiting room was cleaned by Tom. Tom collected the tickets. The tickets were collected by Tom. Mr. Priestley taught the students. The students were taught by Mr. Priestley. The grocer sold eggs. Eggs were sold by the grocer. An electric fire warmed the room. The room was warmed by an electric fire. Future tense passive. If the verb is in the simple future tense, we use the future tense of the verb to be in the past participle of the verb, e.g. active. Passive. Tom will clean the waiting room. The waiting room will be cleaned by Tom. Tom will collect the tickets. The tickets will be collected by Tom. Mr. Priestley will teach the students. The students will be taught by Mr. Priestley. The grocer will sell eggs. Eggs will be sold by the grocer. An electric fire will warm the room. The room will be warmed by an electric fire. We use the passive voice when we are more interested in the action than in the person or people who do the action. So, quite often when you are turning a sentence from the active voice into the passive voice, it is not necessary to put in the doer of the action. In fact, To put it in often makes the sentence seem unnatural. The following sentences will illustrate this. The parts given here in brackets ought to be left out. Active, passive. People speak English all over the world. English is spoken all over the world by people. You must answer all the questions on the paper. All the questions on the paper must be answered by you. Somebody built this house in 1500. The house was built in 1500 by somebody. I wrote lesson 22 specially to illustrate passive voice. Lesson 22 was specially written by me to illustrate passive voice. Now read lesson 22 again and note all the examples given there of the passive voice. Active voice. Subject, doer of the action, object, receiver of the action. Exercises. Exercise 1. Give the subject and the predicate of the following sentences. 1. They are coming on Thursday. 2. Hob wanted a holiday. 3. Lucille was taken in a friend's car. 4. Sir Joseph was rather surprised. 5. Uncle Albert knocked on the door. 6. The door was opened by Mr. Priestley. 7. The rabbit was killed by the dog. 8. Mr. Priestley will teach us tomorrow. 9. We shall be taught by Mr. Priestley tomorrow. 10. He will be in that old railway carriage of his. Pick out the verb in each sentence and say whether it is active voice or passive voice. Exercise 2. Turn the following from active voice into passive voice. 1. Hob opens the door. 2. Mary helps the teacher. 3. The porter takes the luggage to the train. 4. Mrs. Priestley welcomes the visitors. 5. Susan brings in the coffee. 6. I finish my work about 5 o'clock. Leave out the doer of the action as you were told on page 160. 7. Susan washes the dishes. 8. Lucille drives the car. 9. Sir Joseph Binks gives Tom a small check. 10. Mr. Priestley brings some students for tea. 11. Hob tells the students about Uncle Tom. 12. My friend takes me to the cinema. 13. Hob sends some cigarettes to Uncle Albert. 14. Her brothers and sisters meet Frida at the station. 15. We use your books in our class. See note on 6. 16. Hob tells us jokes. Exercise 3. Rewrite all the sentences in Exercise 2 in the past tense active, and then turn all your answers into the past tense passive. Crossword. Clues. Across. 1. A high bill. 7. Before long. 8. To be in want of. 9. You can't get butter without this. 11. In the picture in Book 1, Mrs. Priestley was ing. 12. Second person plural, or singular. 13. The noun, plural, and verb are spelled the same but pronounced differently. 15. Past tense of to lend. 17. Opposite of yes. 19. Preposition. 20. Past tense of to dare. Down. 1. You buy things with this. 2. Helpful. 3. To move the head backwards and forwards. 4. Preposition. 5. Your great-great-grandfather is yours. 6. Opposite of old. 10. To be in debt. 11. You see this during the day. 14. Past tense of to say. 16. Finished. 17. 18. Reversed. 18. Opposite of off. Dear friends, thank you very much for your support, for watching and for liking. I wish you success in learning English. Subscribe to our channel, and good luck.